The Data Protection Act is the law that requires organisations to keep safe any personal data that it might hold about individuals. Now, these days we all have a lot of information kept about us on computers by lots of different people. For example, your school or college might hold a lot of details about you, and some of it is personal. Your doctor will hold lots of details about you. Your parents' financial details will be held on a computer somewhere. And because of computers, it's very easy for your details to fall into the wrong hands or be misused. So, for example, if your data did fall into the wrong hands, your identity might be stolen and people could apply for loans in your name, and it would be a problem for you until you could sort it out. And you don't really want people knowing about your medical problems or any personal problems that you've had. You might one day get refused a job if incorrect information is being held on a police computer or a university computer about what qualifications you got, for example. So the Data Protection Act is there to help protect us from organisations that actually do need to keep data about us. When an organisation, for example your school, decides that it needs to store personal details about people, about students on the computers, they have to inform somebody called the Commissioner, the Information Commissioner, and it's his job to make sure that this law is followed by everybody. What the school has to do is to inform the Commissioner what data it's going to collect and how it intends to use that data. An important point to remember about the Act is it gives you, the data subject, the person about which data is being kept, the right to see that data at any time. Sometimes there's a small charge, but most of the time there isn't. If you wanted to see what data the school holds on its computers about you, you have every right under the Data Protection Act to make a request to see it, and the school must do that. When an organisation registers with the Information Commissioner, they are agreeing to follow 8 principles, 8 rules which make up the Data Protection Act, and these are listed here. The first one is that they've got to process the data lawfully and fairly. They can't sneakily collect the data, and they have to fairly collect it. In other words, tell people that they're going to do it. They can't collect data for one purpose that they told the Information Commissioner and then use it for a different purpose. It's just not allowed, and they can only collect the data that they said they were going to collect. They've got to make sure that the data is accurate and up to date, and your school, for example, probably gives you a printout of all the data it keeps once a year and asks you to check it. And once you've left your school, the school will delete after a short period of time the data that it keeps about you, because they're not allowed to store it for any longer than it's needed. You do have the right to see the data, as we've already said, and your school and other organisations will take precautions with your data. They'll encrypt it, they'll make sure that the computers are locked away, that not just anybody can go in and have a look at your medical details, for example. And the other thing about the data is it can't be sent to a third party country outside of the European Union. It's got to stay within the European Union unless a country has got an act that is very similar to the DPA. So there are 8 parts to the Data Protection Act. Organisations have to inform the Information Commissioner, and you as an individual have the right to see what data is being kept about you by a bank or whoever just by applying